Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. It is currently 3:35 a.m. on November the 11th, and for some reason it's time to do a video. I found I found these two stories just so happened yesterday, and I was like, oh, this will be a great versus. Oh, I only told you the time because I know I sound like I'm still needing some sleep, or I should be asleep, or something to that effect. So I just want to excuse my voice. But yeah, I saw these two stories and I'm amazed at the contrast, the huge difference between how Maryland and New York is. This to me is like normal stuff, honestly. It's a store that I went into yesterday and the shelves are completely empty, and I'm positive that it's just them not ordering because of the crime versus not being able to get items in. The whole entire, like, paper goods, no toilet tissue, no paper towels, no paper plates, no kind of Ziploc bags, the everyday common household things that are easy or commonly stolen. Yeah, those things are not available in the store at all, which means if you can only get to that store, you just got to go without. But that's because it's for the greater good of the store because of crime. Okay, so I'm going to try to get into this story. So it says Starbucks workers put store on blast for allegedly lifting lockdown after learning it was just a bomb threat. This is the updated version of the story. What the hell, Starbucks? Can literally hear sirens outside. And that's a quote from the TikTok that I did see that is related to this story. This whole story is based around a TikToker who worked at Starbucks. And this is her recount of what happened that day. Editor's note: this story has been updated to remove the location of the Starbucks in question. In an email to the Daily Dot, the worker indicated he fears retaliation from the franchise for the initial TikTok. So this is the original story from the Daily Dot. An apparent Starbucks worker on TikTok alleged the store he works at prematurely lifted a lockdown during an active shooter threat after learning it was actually a bomb threat. The TikToker at iLook12 said he couldn't even make it back to his dorm because he had to walk through the danger zone. I'm going to try to remember to put his link in the description, but again, that's at iLook12 on TikTok. You can see all of the TikToks he posted about that day. I'm sorry about that. The video, which currently has over 122,000 views, shows the creator with a Starbucks apron in the back, of a Starbucks store. Text overlay reads: Starbucks instructed us to lock down because there was an active shooter threat nearby. The text also note the workers' store is located in the Northeast, where schools have recently received bomb threats. The text then alleges Starbucks instructed the store to reopen because it's just a bomb threat, not an active shooter threat, so it's okay. With Starbucks, oh no, not with Starbucks, I added a letter. Quote, what the hell, Starbucks? ... Can literally hear sirens outside, end quote. At iLook12 captioned the video. According to USA Today, multiple Ivy League schools, including Brown University and Columbia, received bomb threats on Sunday. The TikToker revealed he is okay in the comments section and said that while he clocked out of work, he waited at the store because it was unsafe for him to walk back to his dorm. This sentence is so poorly written, and the meaning of it as well is like Dumbest. It's okay. Okay. Quote, y'all do you, God's work in that Starbucks every day. They could have at least given you the day off. One viewer said, honestly, if you think they're doing God's work in Starbucks, not to take anything away from the baristas and, everybody who works there, but if you think they're doing God's work, I can guarantee that is why Starbucks informed them that it was only a bomb threat and that they should open back up. It kind of doesn't matter if it's a bomb, whether you're a couple blocks away or here at the promised land making coffee, doing God's work. It's not going to matter. At least they'll close for an active shooter because they don't want to open the door and let the person walk in and shoot you. But the bomb threat, you're just as exposed if you're home or here. You might as well stay. I don't understand the problem. But okay. My boss at Subway wanted us to keep the store open despite a literal firefighter telling us to leave. They wrote, "Bro, I'm not dying for you." The Daily Edition reached out to Starbucks for comment. I guess they did not get any though. I don't know, that's just, yeah. That's just crazy. Yeah, but yep, store's open. It's only a bomb threat. We good. Keep it moving. Okay, and now we come into my neck of the woods. I ain't gonna complain. I'm just read the story and let it speak for itself, because like you just saw in New York, it don't matter. These people need something to drink. Come get them their coffee. Come get them their coffee. But here in Maryland, this is what they feel about you and your coffee. Because you can't tell your people to behave since your neighbors don't want to behave. They want to be out here acting a fool, even though it's not at Starbucks. They want to be down the street acting like a fool. This was Starbucks say to you here in Maryland. You don't live in New York, so you don't get that privilege. You in Maryland. Now let's live by these rules. They gonna tell you. They gonna show you. Here you go. Let's see. Now, I just want to say that I read this story originally, and then when I found the other story, I had to Google it again to find it. And this is like the updated version. The original story literally said, really vague, the Starbucks was closed because of crime in the area. No crime was noted. It was only about 3 paragraphs long. There was literally no specific details. So when I found this one, I thought, you know. Towson, Maryland. Residents and a Baltimore County councilman claim a rise in crime prompted a temporary closure of a Towson Starbucks, but police statistics don't support the claim. According to Baltimore County police officers, of police, according to Baltimore County Police, officers have been called to Starbucks at the corner of Joppa Road and Loch Raven Boulevard 6 times in the past year for minor issues. So in 11 months, 6 times? Okay. However, neighbors said crime is out of control just a few blocks away. Neighbors told 11 News that they believe crime in the area forced the Starbucks to temporarily close. The troubled businesses are the apartments and the liquor stores and all these and all these run-down hotels that are just saturating our neighborhood with crime and drugs, said a neighbor who identified herself as Suzanne. It's terrible, said Antonio Rogers, a neighbor. We got to think about these children out here. Of the 6 reported calls for service at the Starbucks in the past year, 2 calls were for a disturbance, 1 incident involving officer-initiated narcotics event, and there were 3 checks on the subject. Probably people in there nodding out on the bathroom type stuff, and they want to make sure they don't need no Narcan. That's the type of stuff they talk about. I'm just trying to tell you. We went to some of the employees and asked, why are you closing? We went to some of the employees and asked, why are you closing? And the employees told us that there were public safety concerns. Baltimore County Councilman David Marks told WBAL News Radio 1090 AM and 101.5 FM. However, Sarah Audio, with Starbucks Media Relations. So this is the person who need to tell us what's going on. This is the one who made who make an official statement on why Starbucks decided for Baltimore. I mean, I said Baltimore, for its house in Maryland. Told the 11 News I-Team Wednesday, the store is temporarily closed while they institute changes to make it a more warm and welcoming place. There is no reopening date as of yet, though. That is really nice. That is really nice. That they're taking that into account and trying to change the atmosphere inside the store. So that's a nice gesture that they're doing. Residents who live in apartments next door said Starbucks has been a good neighbor. So they already feel welcome. They already feel like it's a good atmosphere, but we appreciate the improvements. No crime. Pretty okay. So far, so good, said Shawnee Jones, a neighbor. Neighbors point to the Welcome Inn motel. So they already point out the problem. I just think it's funny. I literally don't be caring. I make my coffee at home, and I drink iced coffee. It's better than, yeah. It's good. It's good. I'm not gonna waste my money, especially because I'm one of those ones that be like, I'm gonna keep my money, not realizing the corporations don't care because they're getting millions from other people. So I really don't complain anymore. I really just think all of this is hilarious because this is a regular thing in regular neighborhoods. But neighbors point to the Welcome Inn motel as the problem. Police are frequently called to that location, and they recently responded to a barricade situation and a murder-suicide there. Man. The padlock law is often used around the country to shutter businesses where there have been, I'm sorry, the bottom of the screen coming up super slow on my end, where there have been multiple crimes, Mark said. However, after reviewing calls for service, county police determined the legal criteria do not rise to the level in order to close the Welcome Inn. The county council could amend the padlock law to make it easier to enforce. They closed them down. They need to close them down, move them. We've been fighting this in the neighborhoods around here for a long time. And I'd say in the last 20 to 25 years, it has ruined communities, Suzanne said. The I-Team spotted a local security company visiting businesses door to door to offer help. This area is so important for the rejuvenation of Baltimore County's economic might, said Jared Krieger, operations manager of Defender One. We offer unarmed services as well as armed services. We offer unarmed services as well as armed. And if things do get out of hand, we use de-escalation in general. It's a big thing for us, said Matthew Goodman, assistant operations manager of Defender One. I just thought that these two stories were interesting because they were within days of each other when they occurred. And again, the end result is truly a huge difference. I understand things like this probably happen everywhere all the time, but because it's so close and so very different, in New York, literally, you can still work if there's an active bomb threat, but not if there's an active shooter. So yes, you're welcome. If they shooting, you can get low. If they're going to blow it up, you might as well just make your peace with God because you're going down anyway. But in Maryland, the more common thing that I tend to see happens, the easier route is taken. Instead of, putting people at risk and such, you take the easy route in this neighborhood and you just write it off. You write them off. You give no expected reopening date. Of course, I'm sure, especially with this councilman, reporting on it, they're going to reopen. But I'm sure that they were thinking about not. And what they did was they looked at the crime rate. They looked at how hard it was probably to keep employees. Of course, none of your corporate employees are going to want to go to this Starbucks and work and such like that. Because if you look up that intersection, oh, it's a bad intersection, which I understand. But you chose this location initially. You thought you could make your money there. And now that things have gotten a little rough, You just up and abandon. As the one person said, the inside of the Starbucks was okay. Only 6 calls. That's really not bad for Baltimore, to be honest. Well, that's Towson, but they have a little bit of a different standard. See, I compare everything to Baltimore because it's Baltimore. Trust me, it's Baltimore. But yeah, like it's just so sad. They build these buildings up, they hype it up, they put up the now higher end, the soon opening and stuff, and then when things get rough, which it's been like that. That's the thing about it. It's not getting rough. It is rough. That's literally how it is every day. So you never know. Maybe this cup of coffee legit helped somebody, and you were taking their money. But now that things have gotten rough for you, things are getting rough for you. Now it's time to just up and leave. No, they're not creating no more welcoming atmosphere. They trying to figure it out. They were trying to see if they could get out their lease early, but now since it has attention of others, they're probably trying to figure out what it is that they can do to make it better. I used to see security or real police in stores all the time. I worked at 7-Eleven for 5 years. And we didn't have paid security to be in there, but there were always actual police officers in the store. And at other stores, when I used to work there back in like 2000, between 2007 2012 is when I worked at 7-Eleven, a long time ago. But when I would go into regular stores, they would actually have paid police or security. The McDonald's would have a paid police officer. Wendy's would have a paid police officer in store. Um, and if that's what you have to do. But you can also just close. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye. Just one last thing I forgot because I will not play with Starbucks. This is all alleged, my opinion. This is just my speculation. All of that about if they was open and closing, all that kind of stuff. That's just me and my jokes. Thanks so much again. Bye.